Hi guys, good morning. We are starting today new unit studying, that is the vectors. So this is very important. Vector algebra, this is also part of algebra. We can explain algebra in different way with the direction as well as magnitude. So let's we start this vector. So in vector algebra, here we have to study about the vectors. What is the vector? So as you know that why we need the vector. Like suppose here we have put up two questions. What is your height? And secondary question if you show, how should a football player hit the ball to give a pass to another players of his team? Two different questions are given, and if you want to answer these questions, then first you can simply say what is your height. So height we make say like in the inches or foot or meter, like 1.6 meter. Only one quantity is there, clear, or only one value is there, that is magnitude. So to give the answer of the first question, we need only magnitude. So such type of quantities having magnitude only. Such type of quantities having magnitude only is called scalar. The scalar quantity we call these because they have only magnitude. Now to answer the second query, if we need a force, so how should a football player hit the ball to give a pass to another player of team? Or you can say he or she may be use the muscular power. With the help of the muscular power or with the force, he can hit the football, so it will be reached at the right person, or you can say another player of his team. Now when we are using the word muscular power, it means it will include two things. One is the magnitude and other will the direction, because the player of his team in which direction stand, so that direction is also there, and in what quantity force is applied, so it will be reached to that person or second player. So to give the answer of the second query, we need muscular strength as well as direction. So such type of quantities are known as vector. Clear? This type, or to give the answer of this type of equation, we need the vector. So quantities having, you can say definition, quantities having magnitude as well as direction. In which direction hit the ball, that is very important, otherwise it will be reached to the player of the opposition team. So quantities having magnitude as well as direction are called vector. So we may use the definition for the quantities that have magnitude as well as direction is called a vector. Clear? Now you may give the more example for these two words. Like this vector is very important in other branch of the mathematics also, like you have already learned in physics also, and in engineering when we move for the further study or higher study, the vector is also used in engineering field. So this is very important. Now, such in mathematics, physics and engineering, we frequently come across with both type of the quantities. So this scalar quantity is also useful and vector quantity is also useful. So scalar quantity, if you give the example, so many example are given, that is like length, mass, time, you may say length, mass, time, distance, speed, area, distance, speed, area, volume, temperature, work, money. You may give so many examples. Volume, money, temperature, and work, voltage, density or resistance, etc. So these are the some example of the scalar quantities. Now we can move for the vector quantity like displacement, velocity. If you give the example, vector quantity, that is the displacement, velocity, acceleration, force or weight is also there, momentum and electric field intensity. These are the some examples of the vector quantities. So all physical quantity can be divided or can be grouped into two parts. One having magnitude only, that is known as scalar quantity, and other quantity which has magnitude as well as direction, that is known as vector quantities. Clear? Now we see some basic concept regarding the vectors. These are the definition or examples of this. Now some basic thing we see about the vectors. So you can see that L be any straight line in a plane or three-dimensional. Suppose we are given a line L. L be any straight line in a plane or three-dimensional space. This line can be given in two directions. You may move from this to this side or this to this side. So this line may be given in two directions by means of arrow. Suppose we are writing arrow here and here. So direction may be like this or clear? Two-headed arrow is there. So we can say have two side directions. Now a line with one of these directions prescribed is called a directed line. Now we are draw a line with only one direction. So this is known as directed line because this has a specific direction. Directed line means showing the direction in one special side. Clear? So this is known as directed line. Now if we take, we restricted the line L to the line segment. Now this L we have to restrict it some length. Suppose this point A to B. We are restricted length of this directed line. Then a magnitude is prescribed on the line L. So there will be a magnitude prescribed on a line. So we call this is a directed line segment. This is known as directed line segment. Directed in direction, segment is have fixed length or fixed value or magnitude. So this directed line segment is known as a vector. So this directed line segment has magnitude as well as direction. That's why we call this is a vector. So in other words, vector may be also renamed as directed line segment, because directed line is having specific direction from A to B, and segment will have fixed length or magnitude. Clear? So notice with that directed line segment is a vector and it is denoted by vector AB. We denote it as vector AB. This directed line is denoted by vector AB. Now here points are very important, or we may also write as this symbol, one arrow on the small letter A. So vector A, we can represent or read it as vector A or vector AB. We may read out in this way. So the point A from where the vector AB starts, so this vector is starting from the point A. So this is known as initial point. The vector starting point, or the point from which vector is start, that is known as initial point. And the point at the end vector or B point where it ends is called the terminal point. This is terminal point. So what is the terminal point? The point at which ends the vector or point B. So for vector there are two important points we are discussing. Initial point from which the vector starts, terminal point at which the vector ends. So these are two points. And the distance between the initial and terminal points. Distance between terminal and initial points is called length of the vector or magnitude. Is called magnitude of the vector. And direction of the vector from initial to terminal point. When we want to indicate the direction, we are writing this. It means initial point, this arrow indicates the direction of the vector. Vector from A to B. So from this, by simple we can easily say this is the starting point and this is the end point, or it is initial point and it is a terminal point. Clear? And distance between these two points is called as magnitude of the vectors. So magnitude of a vector or length of a vector is denoted by magnitude of vector. We can written as mode of vector AB or mode of vector A, or simply scalar A, because in magnitude there is no direction. So we can say it is as A. Correct? So magnitude of a vector, we can write mode of AB equal to mode of vector A equal to A. Clear? So the arrow indicates the direction of the vector. Arrow always indicates the direction from A to B. Suppose I write here CD. Arrow indicates C to D. C is the initial point and D is the terminal point. Then we have C, position vector. So this is the basic thing about the basic concept about the vector. Now we can say position vector. So as in previous class, we see the coordinate geometry. In three-dimensional geometry, we have to plot the position of the point in three-dimensional system. Means we can plot the coordinates of the point x, given point, any point, with respect to the coordinate axis. Suppose we are given the coordinate system like this, x, y, clear? So position, what is the meaning of position vector that we want to see? Position vector. So the vector denoting the position of a point in three-dimensional system, that is known as position vector. Suppose we are plotting this point P with the coordinate x, y, z. So when we are indicate this with respect to origin, we are taking the length from the origin to the point P, so that indicate the direction of the vector from O to P. So this vector OP is known as position vector. Generally we are writing this by general vector R, because as you know that in coordinate geometry we are taking the general point x, y, z. So x, y, z is the general coordinate of a point. So corresponding to coordinate geometry we have algebra or vector algebra, we take the position vector OP. So OP having O and P as its initial point, O is the initial point and P is the terminal point. And P is the terminal point. So OP is called as position vector of the point P with respect to O. This is clear? OP is called position vector of point P with respect to origin O. So in this way we can find the position vector of the point P. Now the magnitude of vector OP, generally we are writing this vector by small r. So magnitude of r, as you know that in the coordinate geometry, the distance OP, the distance between 2 points, using the distance formula, we can find the length OP or distance between point P and O. As you know that coordinate O, point O has coordinate as 0, 0. This coordinate as x, y, z. So using distance formula, root of x minus x1 whole square plus y minus y1 whole square plus z minus z. Here this is already 0. So root of x minus 0, y minus 0 or z minus 0. So one may write x square plus y square plus z. So this is known as magnitude of the position vector OP or position vector R. Or you can say the length of OP is equal to root of x square plus y square plus z square. So in this way one can find the length of the vector R. So generally we are saying for the point P, as in coordinate geometry you take general point for P, that is coordinate x, y, z. In vector algebra we are taking this vector as R, clear, whose initial point is O and B. Now similarly, suppose you can take in coordinate geometry other points like A, B, C or x1, y1, you may take x1, y1, z1, or B you may take x2, y2, z2. So when you join these points to the origin, when we are joining these points A, B, C to the origin, we again get the position vector. So again you can say position vector of point A, that generally we write by vector E. Similarly, position vector of point B, that you can write vector B, and similarly position vector of point C. That is, you can write vector C. So in general, we can write the position vector for any general or particular points. So that can be also drawn in the figure we have seen. Next we see direction cosine. That is very important. Direction cosine and direction ratio. See, suppose we take again three-dimensional system of the geometry where three coordinate mutually perpendicular x, y, and z axis. You know that all these three coordinate axes are perpendicular to each other. Means they have 90-degree system. And if you are taking the point P here with the coordinate as usual x, y, z, and we join with O, then we are getting vector R. Clear? Now if we are drawing the perpendiculars from this to the plane yz, xz, then say if you are drawing the perpendicular here like this, and if you join this, we get a Cartesian system of the point so you can say a parallelopiped system we get. The cuboidal system is generated. Clear? Now if we are drawing the perpendiculars from the point P to the axis, these perpendicular are be drawn on the plane x, o, y. This is one plane. This is x, o, z, second plane, and this is third x, z, y. This is the plane. Now suppose if you want to draw the perpendiculars from this point to x axis, this is 90 degree, to y axis and to z axis. We are drawing the perpendiculars from the point to the coordinate axis at the point A, B and C. Clear? So one may be defined the angles. So there are angles like you can say this position vector R makes angle with x-axis, let alpha, we call alpha. This is this make angle here, that is alpha. Position vector OP make an angle with the positive direction of x-axis, that is alpha. Similarly, this OP met with the y-axis, this is beta, and with the z-axis, that is gamma. So you can say the angles alpha, beta, gamma made by vector R with the positive direction of x, y, and z axis respectively are called the direction angles. Direction angles. So what is the meaning? Angles formed by the vector R with the positive direction of the coordinate axis, or you can say of the x-axis, y-axis or z-axis is called the direction angle. Very easy definition. What is the definition for the direction angle? the angle formed by the vector OP with the x-axis, that is alpha, with the y-axis, that is beta, with the z-axis, that is gamma, are called the direction angles. The cosine of these angles, the cosine of these angles means, that is cos of first angle alpha, cos of cosine of second beta, cosine of third cos gamma, are known as the direction cosine of the vector r, are called as the direction cosines of vector r, namely we give the new name L, M, N. So this is very important. What is L? L is the cosine of the angle formed by the position vector r with the positive direction of x. What is M? This is also direction cosine formed by the position vector r with the positive direction of y axis. Similarly, what is N? It is also a direction cosine formed by vector or position vector r with positive direction of z. So these are known as direction cosine. So it is very important, or you should know what is the meaning of direction angles and direction cosine. Direction angle, only angle. Direction angle means the angles formed by the position vector with the positive direction of x-axis, y-axis and z. But direction cosine are the cosine of the direction angle. Cosine of the direction angle. Because direction angle what? Alpha, beta, gamma. And direction cosine, cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma. So one may be write as L equal to cos alpha, M equal to cos beta, N equal to cos gamma. So L, M, N, in short we write these are direction cosine, or you may call cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma. These are the, so in short name we write L, M, N. Clear? So one may also prove this, the value of L square plus M square plus N square equal to 1. L square plus M square plus N square is equal to 1. Later on we see this proof, or you can also prove with the help of this cos alpha. Now, so what is the value of this? You can say here, say if we see the triangle, when we are defining the angle, suppose we want to see this triangle in triangle AOP. Triangle AOP. Now we are saying this is a perpendicular. A is the 90 degree. This is AOP. P A is perpendicular on OA. We are drawing perpendicular from point P on x-axis or y-axis or z. So this is a 90 degree. This is alpha, and this is 90. So now we want to find the value of cos alpha. So what is the cos alpha? That is based upon hypotenuse. By trigonometry, one can write cos alpha equal to base upon hypotenuse. So here base OA. So that is the x-axis. This is the length of x-axis. So we can call x, and OP, that is vector r or magnitude of vector r. Clear? So cos alpha, that is based upon hypotenuse. So base is x, hypotenuse r, or you simply write x upon r as a scalar. So what we get? Cos alpha means first direction cosine, that is L. So L equal to x upon r. So x can be written as LR. Similarly, one can find, similarly if you consider the triangle POB, the triangle POB, this B is a 90 degree, this angle is beta, so this is base upon hypotenuse, that is y. So y upon r equal to cos second angle. So cos beta equal to y upon r, or cos beta means m. So one can write mr equal to y. Similarly, we can consider triangle OPC. This is also a right triangle because we are drawing perpendicular from P to x, z axis. So PC is a perpendicular and this angle is gamma. Position vector make angle with the z axis, that is gamma, direction angle. So this is base upon hypotenuse, that is again cos gamma. So one may be write cos gamma equal to z upon r. So if you find the value of this, may be written as a L M N, third direction, L cos alpha, M cos beta, and N cos gamma. So from this one can write z equal to Rn. So what we get? We get the new values corresponding to each direction cosine. Clear? So see, the coordinate of the point P in terms of the vector you can also write x means LR, M so y MR, and z NR. So one may be write the coordinates of the point P in terms of the LMR. So coordinate of the point P are LR, MR, and NR. So we can also write in terms of the values of the direction cosine. Clear? So these number LR, MR, and NR proportional to direction cosine. These are proportional to direction cosine what? Because L, M, N we are given and the number we are taking coordinate LR, MR, N. So this is proportional. Why proportional? If you divide, ratio is equal to 1 by R. So these number LR, MR, NR are known as direction ratio. One more word. These are called as the direction ratio. In some textbooks you find direction numbers. They may also call as the direction numbers. Clear? Or direction ratios. Clear? So LR, MR, NR are known as the direction ratio. So what is the direction ratio? Definition: the number which are proportional to the direction cosine. Because direction cosine L, M, N, direction ratio LR, MR, NR. Now some may be written like any number which is proportional to this, like suppose A, B, C. So sometimes we may also call direction ratio as a ABC. Like one more important point, suppose for any vector if you are getting the direction cosine as 1, 2, 3. The direction cosine of a position vector is 1, 2, 3. So now any number proportional to these three is called its direction ratio or direction number. Like if you multiply all by 2, so 2, 4, 6, that is the direction ratio. Or if you multiply by 3, 3, 6, 9, or you can multiply by 4. So any number which are proportional to the direction cosine are known as the direction ratios of the vector. So they may be infinity. There is no limit of the direction ratio. So now you can easily prove this formula with the help of taking LR, MR and NR and put the value of L, that is x upon R. If you want to prove this one equal to 1 or not, L means we are taking x upon R, y upon R, m, or n means z upon R. So taking x square upon R square, y square upon R square, or z square upon R. In the denominator R square we are taking common, so it will be x square plus y square plus z square. And by the magnitude, we have already written the magnitude of the position vector R is x square plus y square plus z square is 2. So R square, x square plus y square plus z. So this can be replaced by, so x square plus y square plus z square can be replaced by R square. So R square by R square 1, which is equal to right hand side as 2. So in this way we can learn about the basic thing, and next video, dear student, you go for the different types of the vector and some more important properties of the vectors. Thanks for watching this. Have a nice day and to be continued with us for more videos.